So ma'am, you can start sharing your screen and we can check with the presentation.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. Is it enabled for you now?
What, Rishabh? I'm sorry I couldn't hear you.
Share content option.
Yeah, it is enabled.
Yes, ma'am. So you can click on that and
We have done that.
Great, ma'am. Ma'am, is there any problem you are facing while sharing the content?
No, actually, it is showing on the screen sharing.
Okay.
It
No problem,
is
ma'am.
actually
No problem, ma'am.
on waiting side.
otherwise, Rishabh, I have mailed, like ma'am has mailed the final presentation as a backup. So you can use it if we face any issue. Okay?
File still loading. It is. Let me see.
No problem, ma'am. It will.
Okay.
Ma'am, try to share it again, ma'am.
Okay, I'll do this. I'll share it.
Have you joined by using a desktop app?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anupama, please mail me the presentation.
If it's an issue, ma'am, you can like rejoin the meeting. Maybe that could help. You can leave the meeting, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
by and then rejoin again.
Okay, I'll do this.
Yeah, Rishabh, I'm mailing you the PPT again. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm trying again.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Try to share again, ma'am.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, I'll share it from my end.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Should I do that?
Yeah, because it's not working.
No problem, ma'am. No problem. I'll take care of it.
Yes, ma'am. So Rishabh will broadcast the slides for you and you can present it. Okay?
But I'm not able to see that.
Ma'am, you
Ma'am,
will be able
he'll
to.
present.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll be able to see in a minute. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Ma'am, are you able to see it now?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, great, ma'am. We'll start in minutes, in 1 or 2 minutes.
Can I start now?
Ma'am, wait for 1 minute. Then we'll see.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Okay, Anupma.
Okay, Rishabh. So, good evening to all our participants. I welcome you all to the third day of IEEE Virtual Talk series, which are focused on photonics and optical technologies. So, today we have with us a woman from industry, and today she will be sharing her views on optical components contribution in modern electronics. So, before we start today's session, I would like to briefly introduce our speaker. So our speaker, Miss Manmeet Kaur, she's the director of Mango Semiconductors company, and she has a experience of more than 14 years in industry, and she's an engineering graduate. So with this brief bio, I welcome you, ma'am, for your talk. Over to you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah, thank you so much, Anupama. First of all, I would really like to thank IEEE and CSIR for giving me this opportunity to present my views in front of people. So, to be very honest, I'm very excited today and little nervous also because this is my first webinar. Earlier, I have given presentations, but never got a chance to present in a webinar. So once again, thanks a lot. So my name is Manmeet Kaur. I'm a director of a company named Mango Semiconductors India Private Limited. It is situated in Ghaziabad. So let's first talk about the professional front. So I have a total 14 years of experience in component as well as LED lighting industry. So I have given the brief of all the three companies in which I have worked for around 11 years. And after that, I have joined this company, which is already run by my husband. So he is one of the director, and I'm the another director in this company. On a personal front, I have twins. They are baby boys of 4 years, and you can see the picture in my presentation. This is a recent picture we have taken to the trip to Goa. So anyone who is having children may correlate to my situation. That if you are working from home and kids are there, they can anytime interrupt you because they find a more suitable time to interrupt their parents when they are working. So I'm apologizing for the same prior to that. If something is happening in between the presentation, so I'll be upfront saying sorry for the same. And let us start the presentation for today. Uh, can we go to the next slide, please? This is the content of my presentation in which firstly I would give the brief of my company called Mango Electronics, what we are and what we do, so that you people have the background of what from which company I belong to. And then I'll come to the main topic of the presentation, which is what are optoelectronic components, and what are their principle and parameters, and how these uh, components are basically helping in modern electronics. So at the end, I will give you the glimpse of the applications of all these components, the practical application, practically where these components are being used and supplied by us. So let's start first with our company brief. Next slide, please. Uh, uh, Prior to start this presentation, I just wanted to assure you people that the number of slides are very limited, so that you people won't feel bored or sleepy in between this presentation. So I had tried to make it more colorful, more pictorial, so that it would be not a boring presentation. So let's start with the introduction of my company. My company is a Mango Semiconductor India Private Limited, and we are located in Ghaziabad in a Pacific Business Park. You can see the building in the first photograph. We have a team member of say 20 people. I have a team photograph also in my presentation, and the internal view of my office. So the company, basically what we are doing, we are the component supplier, electronic component supplier. It includes all kind of components like electronics, optics, connectors, but of all the global brands. So we are sourcing 100% genuine electronic components, and all the sourcing we are doing from US and UK. So company is incepted in 2014 with the mission to supply to only quality conscious customer with the shortest lead time. Shortest lead time means we can supply any component in 7 to 10 days at a very competitive prices, and these all components are brought from the authorized distributors of the manufacturer. So our team of 20 people include graduates and few engineers, and office we have 1200 square meter office and 300 square feet running warehouse. So next slide, please. These are the brands being catered by us. I have given the glimpse of a few brands, but there are around 3000 plus brands of the global connectors which we cater, but it is not possible to give all brands in one slide. So I have given the glimpse of few brands. We are authorized supplier of Amphenol for the connectors for the mill grade to defense organizations, and for the others we are either supplying through directly through manufacturer or from the authorized distributor of manufacturer located in US and UK. So we can supply any kind of electronic component, but that should be of global hope. Next slide, please. So if we talk about our clientele, we have pan India 500 plus customers, and we can supply to all the industries, from automotive to defense to aviation to load cell, you name any industry, we are supplying to that industry. And we are also supplying to major government organizations also through their tenders or the direct inquiry from their end. So I have given the name of few of the government customer to whom we are supplying all sort of electronic, electromagnetic and optical components. Next slide, please. So now I'll come to the main topic of my presentation, that is the optoelectronic components. Basically, the modern electronics is the contributed by many different fields of physics, electronics, mechanical, chemical. So everybody is contributing because electronic alone can't do everything. So it's the contribution of all fields of physics. So today we'll discuss about the optoelectronic components. So what are the optoelectronic components? Basically any component which convert electrical energy into optical energy or optical energy into electrical energy is called as a optoelectronic component. The content itself, I have given you the brief that we'll discuss about the few components which are majorly used in electronics. So first is the LED. LED, everybody knows that LED is being used everywhere these days. It has already replaced majorly in lighting industry and in any kind of industry, whether it's indication, whether it's mobile phone, everywhere LED is there. So what is basically a LED? It's a semiconductor device which convert electrical energy into a visible light when forward biased. So basically, it is having a semiconductor material based on the required color temperatures. Different kind of materials are being used. So different kind of materials are gallium arsenide is there, gallium arsenide phosphide is there, silicon carbide is there, and gallium indium nitrate is there. It all depends on which color you want in LED. So please enter. So how to identify? What are the parameters which define when I choose the LED? What are the parameters which are need to be focused while selecting a LED? So there are a few parameters which we need to take care, because when we are choosing the LED for a particular application, we should know what is my requirement. So there are 4 to 5 basic parameters. That one is luminous flux. So luminous flux is nothing; it's the energy per unit actually illuminated by the source. Whatever whatever power is source is giving is basically a lumen flux, and it is measured in the lumen. Means mainly when we talk in the industry in a layman language, we said na ki I need a bulb of say 600 lumens. So we are talking about the luminous flux there. We are not talking about the luminance or luminous intensity. We are talking about the luminous flux, and people are also talking in terms of lumen flux. Okay, you need 600 lumen bulb or you need 800 lumen bulb. So basically, it is a power generated by a light source. So another term which come is the luminous intensity. You must have noticed that whenever you lit a bulb in a room like LED bulb, sometimes there is a darkness in the back and you have all the illumination in front of the bulb. That is because due to the angle at which light falls on the surface. So if the angle is less than 180, we are able to see the darkness. And people are now making more than 180 degrees lamps so that there will be a uniformity of the light. But it is this technology is still evolving. So the luminous intensity is basically a power which is emitted by a source in a particular direction. When we talk about the direction, that means there must be some angle on which that light is fall on a surface, and that is what we call luminous intensity. The light when falls on a surface, the surface absorbs some light, and that is then reflected to the human eye. The intensity of light perceived by the human eye is known as luminance. So there are 3 terms. One is what luminous flux, which is generated by the source, and the luminous intensity, at what angle it is fall on a surface, and the luminance, at what angle it is perceived by the human eyes. So nobody in the industry is talking about the luminous intensity or luminance. Everybody is talking about the luminous flux. That's why we are always saying that much lumen bulb, this much lumen bulbs. Whereas these things are also important. Another very important parameter of the LED is the CRI, color rendering index. What is color rendering index? It is basically a light ability to reveal the object true color as comparison to the ideal light source. In industry, we when we talk about the ideal light source, it is a sun. The CRI of sun is 100. So whatever color it is showing in the sun, it should show in a light. That is what we are comparatively called as CRI. So higher the CRI, better the uh, color revealing property of the particular object. So if next time if we go to the market and we ask for the CRI of say 95 or 90, but there is a trade-off between the CRI and the luminous flux. If the CRI increases, luminous flux decreases. We can relate it with the correlated color temperature of the LED, which is the next parameter of the LED. It is what is correlated color temperature? It is basically a temperature shown in a Kelvin for a particular light when we check its chromaticity coordinates on the black body locus. So for different color temperature, there are different points. According to that, the colors are defined. Like we have warm light, we call it as warm light. The yellowish light, the color temperature is in between 2000 Kelvin to 3000 Kelvin. There is a natural light. We called it as a natural light because we compare it with the sun. So it's 3100 Kelvin to 4500 Kelvin. Then there is a cool light, which is very prominent in India. In India, we don't like warm light. We rarely like neutral light, but the cool light is preferred because the environment in India is very hot. So cool light gives the cool feeling. So the color temperature is around 4600 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. So basically, these are all the parameters of the LED when we are choosing LED or a kind of a LED product in a market. So now we come to the next slide. There are a different kind of LEDs available in the market, and all the LEDs are good to use, but it depends upon the type of application you want to use these LEDs. Like there's a first package is a 5 round LEDs. There is another LED come in this category is a 3 round LED. So if you want a LED for say indication purposes in some instruments, then these are high brightness, low power LEDs, and they are mostly used in indicators. So there are many manufacturers. I have written to Avago and Everlight. There are n number of manufacturers these days manufacturing these LED, Everlight, Everbright, Lighton. There are n number of players. Then we come to the SMD LED. SMD, as you know, it's a surface mount. The leads are behind the body of the LED. So these are coming under the mid power. When we talk about the mid power, the power is around 0.5 watts. They are again a high brightness LED, but they are not as robust as the DIP LEDs. So they are majorly used in indoor applications like bulbs, ceiling lights, and down lights these days. Every home is having LED lights, so everyone must seen these LEDs. So the major player are Nichia, Osram, Edison. There are other players like Lumiled are there. Edison is also making, and there are Indian players who are making these LEDs. Another LED is multi-chip on board LED. Basically, in this LED, the multiple chip are encapsulated in a single board, and they are used as a single power source. And these are very high LED, like 1 watt, 3 watt, sometimes 5 watt LED. And the brightness is quite high, and they have better heat dissipation. That is why they can use in a high power application like luminaire and street lights, where the outdoor application are there. If we because these SMD LEDs are very moisture sensitive, But if you use MCUV, they are made in a way that they are not they are less sensitive to moisture, so they can use for the outdoor LEDs. The new technology of LED, which we can find these days, is a OLED, organic light emitting devices. So this is a very new technology. You can find these LEDs in any shape, color, but they are used for more diffuse lights. So you have must seen that OLEDs TV in market. So I know one of the player only, Canon Toki, who is making these LEDs, but I not it. Basically, this LED is not used in the typical applications like this SMB or MCBU. It is used in particular kind of application like OLED TVs. So if we enter, please. So if we talk about the LED application, everybody knows it. I just have put it in a way that all the application can be covered, whether it's a signal light, automotive, TV, displays, signages, mobile application, indication, illumination. Everywhere LEDs are being used. So this is the most used optoelectronic component these days. And at the end of my slide, I'll tell you what practically to whom we are supplying these kind of components, so that you can relate to that. Next slide, please. So the another component in this category comes the photodiode. As you know that the name implies, it's a photodiode means a diode which can sense a light and convert that light into a electrical energy. So basically a photodiode in LED, you have seen that the light is going out, the symbol is going out. In this, basically the light symbol is coming in. That means light is falling on the component. You can, if you see the picture I have pasted, there is a window, a transparent window in front of that particular component. That means that this window allow the light to come to this particular diode so that it can start working. So this is the basic of photodiode, that it is worked only in a reverse bias. Okay, in the reverse bias, the depletion layer get widened and the light in the light get more surface. And if you increase the light intensity, the reverse bias increases. The reverse current increases in photodiodes. Enter, please. So again, typically photodiode materials are made of silicon, germanium, indium gallium arsenide, phosphide, indium gallium arsenide. Any kind of material depends upon the application in which you are going to use the photodiode and the kind of response you want from the photodiode. You can see I have shown you the two package. One is looking like the LED, it's a plastic package. The another package is hermetically sealed package TO5. Basically, both are used in different applications. So this is the basic working. I have shown in a yellow diagram that when light falls on the surface, due to the reverse bias, the depletion layer get widened, and it is basically help to uh, flow of uh, flow of a high, more current through a particular photodiode. So basically, this is a photodiode. It is not used all alone. It is used in club with many devices, which I cover in the next slides. So basically, when a light is made to eliminate the PN junction, if you see the yellow diagram, covalent bonds are ionized. This generates holes and electron pairs. When the photon enters the depletion layer of the diode, it hits the atom with the high energy. This results in release of electrons from the atom structure. After that, electron release, free electrons and holes are produced and they are drifted towards the opposite polarity. In general, photodiode actually operates in three modes depending upon the application of the photodiode, like photovoltaic mode, photoconductive mode, and the avalanche mode. So whenever we connect a photodiode, next slide please. Whenever we connect a photodiode to a circuit, it should be connected in a reverse bias as shown in a figure, the cathode to the positive terminal and the anode to the negative terminal, then only the reverse current will flow. You can see the graph I have shown here. Basically, it's a graph between the reverse voltage and the reverse current. The current depends totally on the illumination of the light source, which is illuminating basically the photodiode. If you see, there is a dark current. This is the minimum current on which the device will operate. It is shown in the data sheet of the particular photodiode that this is the minimum current, and if you wanted to get the output, you have to drive this photodiode above this current. If you say as we increase the illumination, the at 1000 lux it increases, at 1500 lux it is 200, at 200 lux it is 300 milliamperes. So it'll increase with the increase of illumination of particular photodiode. This is how it is working. Next slide. So previous. So photodiode not used all alone in any circuit. They are basically used for the isolation in optocouplers, which I will explain in my next slide. And the photodiodes are applied in many electronic components like in fire and smoke detectors in TV units. They act as a photo sensor if we use them in a camera. So next slide please. So the next category of the component, which is very much similar to the photodiode, is the phototransistor. Basically, it's a BJT transistor. It's a BJT basically in which the base is basically controlled by the light instead of a voltage source. So whenever the base is illuminated by the light source, it works in a forward bias. Enter please. So there are different packages of photo transistor also depending upon the application. Again, when the light was striking on the material, the free electron and hole of the semiconductor material cause the current which flows in the base region. The base of the photo transistor would be used for biasing the transistor. In case the NPN transistor, the collector is not made positive, and in PNP, the collector is kept negative. You can see that that in that diagram how the light falls on photo transistor and it starts working. The symbol says the light is coming in. It is on. If we remove the base terminal, so it is working like a diode. So you can convert the photo transistor into photo diode also if you connect it in a reverse direction and won't use base. So many of the people are doing this. Next slide, please. So these are the phototransistor circuit. Again, it is having a minimum dark current above which it will start working. So dark current, then as the illumination increases, the current IC increases, collector current increases accordingly. Enter please. So it is again used in many applications. I have given the glimpse of few application here like object detection, encoding sensor, automatic electric control in light detectors, security system, punch card readers, smoke detectors, night vision system, printers and copiers, cameras as shutter control, and there are many application of that. But the one major application of photo transistor is the they are used in optocoupler, and optocoupler is having a huge number of applications. So in the next slide, I will cover the optocoupler, and then you will connect that this phototransistor and photodiode uses. Next slide, please. So the next category is optical coupler. We call it as optical isolator or a photocoupler. There are three names in the industry we are calling these components. And the internal structure, if you can see, there is a phototransistor and the infrared LED inside it. It is having basically four legs. Whenever the IC, it is in form of IC. Most commonly used part number I have used there is PC817 and 4N35. They are majorly used. The PC817 is made by Sharp, and 4N35 is a product of Fairchild. So majorly these two companies are into making these kind of optocouplers. And if you see in this circuit, there are two components. One is a LED and another one is a phototransistor. Basically, LED emits a light and bias the base region of the transistor, which will help actually optocoupler to work. Optocoupler is a component that transfer electrical signal between the two isolated circuits. So it's very important here to note that it is used to connect two isolated circuits by using a light. This allows transmission of electrical signal between two systems of different voltages level with complete electrical isolation rated up to the isolation voltage. So whenever you have to choose the optical coupler, you must know its isolation voltage as per your application. Then only it will give you the desired result. So there are different optical configuration based on the application. Some people need more gain, so they use photo Darlington. Some need moderate gain, so they need photo transistor. Some are using SCR, some are using photo triads. So all these combination is having different part number in the industry depending upon the application and the features they want. As per the data sheet, people will choose according to their design. Next slide, please. The common application of optocoupler includes microprocessor input-output switching. They are used in PC communication, AC and DC power control, signal isolation, and power supply regulation. They are majorly used in these particular things where the isolation between the two circuits is required who are at different voltage levels. Next slide, please. Previous slide, please. So, actually, I am not able to open my presentation from my desktop. Otherwise, I'll show you the data sheet of all these components and tell you what are the major parameters which should be kept in mind while choosing any optocoupler or any kind of optical component. But without that, I just wanted to give a stress on three major that the parameters of optocoupler. When you are selecting the optocoupler, which are the 3 or 4 major parameters you have to keep in mind. So first is the isolation voltage that I have already told you. That is the highest voltage which is applied for across the device for 1 minute without altering its parameter. So basically it is very high, something it's around 5K in some of the optocoupler. And the another very important thing is the current transfer ratio. That how much current is transferred to the from LED to the transistor. Okay, at the rated current of LED. So basically, it is most of the optocoupler is having 50%, and there is a formula for that that IC upon IF into 100%. If you have IC of 2.5 at milliampere at say IF of sorry, that the forward voltage forward current of LED is 50 milliampere, then the you can get CTR ratio of 50%. So the CTR ratio is very important when you are using optical couplers for the higher frequencies. Another thing which come in the picture when you are selecting optocoupler is the response time. That is the time required by the optocoupler to switch on and then to switch off. So basically, if the switch on switch off time is having a difference, then you must be facing the problem in the higher frequencies. Like there will be a delay if say switching time is 30 microseconds and the switch off time is say 60 microseconds. So there is a long delay, and that is not desirable on the higher frequency. So whenever you are selecting the optocoupler, please give stress to these 3 or 4 parameters. Other parameters are also important, but yes, these are the major parameter. Everybody is writing this on the data sheet front page that you should in one go you can see. Okay, these are the things. Okay, rest of the things, if you wish, whatever, if you wanted to go in deep depth, that okay, I need a IF, VF, and ICBO of transistor and LEDs parameter, that all are mentioned in the data sheet only, and you can have a look on that. And you must see the graphs of all the components, which will help you to find whether if you are not driving that particular device on a rated current or voltage, and if your current is above or below the rated voltage or current or the gain, what is the output you can get theoretically. Practically, yes, there may be a possibility of say plus minus 10% tolerance, but in theory you can almost get from the graph that what output you will get in the practical circuit. So the next component, the next slide please. So the next component in this category comes the optical fiber. So everybody from the industry knows it, but I just refresh because this is again a very major component which is playing a vital role in a communication system these days. So optical fiber is basically a cylindrical dielectric waveguide that transmit light along its axis by the process of total internal reflection. The fiber consists of basically 4 main components like core, cladding, buffer, and jacket. Core is either made up of glass or plastic. It is having higher refraction index than the cladding, so that the less absorption of the light will happen. And the cladding is the next layer to the core, and the buffer is used to protect the fiber from the damage of moisture, and jacket holds, if there are multiple fibers, then the jacket hold all the fibers together. So there are 2 type of basically optical fiber. One is a single mode optical fiber, and another is a multi-mode optical fiber. So difference is in their diameter and the type of light they can uh, transmit. So single mode basically transmit laser light of 1300 to 1550 nm, and the multi-mode fibers are transmit infrared light of wavelength say 850 to 1300 nm. So basically, where is the application? Single mode fibers actually having less losses because only a single mode is there and there is no noise or attenuation of anything. So for the long distances, people prefer single mode fibers. And if you need a much less distance but a higher speed, the people are using multi-mode fibers. So both are important and both having their own applications. But the optical fiber can't be used alone. There are another components which are associated with the uh, Optical fiber, these are transmitter. Whenever, if you have seen practically optical fiber, it is connected with the wire. There are two transmitter and receiver at two ends. So transmitter basically produce the encoder and encodes the light signal. Optical fiber obviously conduct the light signal over a distance. Optical regenerator sometimes is there to boost the light signal if required for the long distances. And optical receiver basically receive and decode the light signal. So these are basically all the components which is actually completing optical fiber, because optical fiber alone can't do anything. Enter please. So why optical fibers are used? For example, if you wanted to lit a hallway which is bended, which is not straight, so you have to bend the wires, and that wire, if bended again and again, will give you many losses. But that would not happen in case of the optical fiber. If you use optical fiber, because in this it is totally next slide, please. The basic working of optical fiber is basically it is work on the total internal reflection. Basically, there is a term called critical angle. When lights fall uh, on a critical angle, it reflects that. Uh, if you say first ray won't fall as per the critical angle, so it got absorbed. The second ray also got absorbed. The third is actually under the critical angle, so it we get it back as a total reflection. It will flow like this. So that is why the core refraction is higher than the cladding, so that there will be less losses in the optical fiber, and we can attain a maximum output. Enter please. Enter please. So there are many applications of optical fiber. Also, you must have seen that the blue cable we are using in network connections, and the cable you see in that telephone wires. All these are the sort of optical fibers, and they have application in dentistry also. They have application in automobile also. So there are in long communication everywhere optical fibers are being used. Next slide. So the in the starting of my presentation, I told you people that I can give you the glimpse of like LED, how the practically we are basically supplying LEDs to whom, and how the people are using in which application. So this is the glimpse. Actually, we are providing to many customers, but I have written a few because in one slide everything can't come. So I have started with the light emitting diode. There is a part number called HHLMP. This make is a Broadcom, which is also known as Avago. We are supplying this to the Sidwal refrigeration in Faridabad, and they are actually making the cooling system for railways. So they are using these LEDs for the indication purpose. This is a 5 mm LED, and the color is a green color. So the next component is a photodiode, which is a Vishay make. The part number is BPW21R. The photodiode angle is mentioned, the wavelength is mentioned. It is we are giving to global apparels. You must be surprised that that garment industry also using the electronic components, but wherever there is they have machines, electronic machines. So wherever there is electronics, there is electronic component. So another component we are using is photo transistor. This is the TFT4300 make Vishay. We are giving it to Auto Electronics. They are actually making weather and environment measurement systems. So they are again using this transistor, photo transistor. Optical isolator, I told you this is a very common part number, HCP BL817 and PC817. Actually, it's the part is common. Somebody is saying PC817, somebody is saying NCPR817. It depends upon who is making it. Like I have taken the Broadcom Avago company. If I'll take the Sharp, then it should be PC817. We are supplying this component to Hitachi Haier. It's in Gandhinagar for the solar inverters, and the Syncom for the defense systems. They are located in Pune. They are making the defense systems. Optical fibers, there's a company called Aban Green. It's a Aban Power Group company. So they are basically using, there is a fiber optic transmitter and receiver, and they are using cable also. So I have given both the part number. This is again from Broadcom Avago. They are basically making pipelines for the tanneries, and they are using that for the communication purpose. So this is the practical application which I come across in my daily life. So I have shared this with you people. The practical uses. Next slide. I hope you people won't sleepy during my presentation, and thank you so much for your patience. I really believe in one line that whenever there is some ending, there is something new will start from that ending. So every ending is really just a new beginning. And with that, I end my presentation. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am, for a wonderful presentation. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
now the session is open for questions. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we have some in the chat box.
I'll
So
see
I
you.
will say them for you. Okay. So first one is from Abhinav sir. So he wanted to know that can we say higher the CRI in LEDs means more narrow spectrum, that is no sidebands?
No. CRI is nothing to do with that side bands, because CRI is basically uh, actually retrieve the true color of the particular object. So it is nothing to do with the spec. So if you need a more detailed explanation, I have given my email ID. I can love to reply to your specific question in detail, because it's a very lengthy topic. If I'll go by the chromaticity coordinates and then come to the CRI, so it will be a long session. But I would love to reply on emails. Please send me an email. I'll reply to it.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, you can post your email in the chat box also for all the participants.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah. So after that, ma'am, going to our next question from Sandeep sir. So he's
Mhm.
asking, do you provide UVC LEDs?
Yeah, if you have part number, definitely we can provide any kind of field. But you have to provide the part numbers to us.
Okay, so I request sir to kindly mention the part number in maybe in the chat box, and ma'am, then you can note them out down, or they can mail
Sure.
you. Yeah, anything.
Mhm.
Yeah. So next question is from Niranjan sir. So he's asking, is it possible to develop manufacturing setup under your company?
Yeah, that's a very tricky question, and that is not related to the technical presentation. That is related to the business kind of a question. So, if he can write a separate mail to me, we can discuss upon that.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So if so that's all from the chat box window. So if anyone wants to directly interact with ma'am, so they can turn on their audio, and they can talk to you, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes. So I request participants who want to interact, they can either raise their hand, so we can take them one by one, or they can directly unmute themselves.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am. I'm Dr. Subramania Reddy speaking, and may I know that what is the difference between the optical communication and laser communication, and how do you differentiate these two technologies?
As per my knowledge, Dr. Subramaniam, the both optical laser technology is a part of optical communication. So you can say it's a subfield of optical communication. But if you talk about in details, I really go to my notes and check. I would love to hear in my email if you directly send me a email so that I can reply you in detail. But I think they both are interrelated.
Okay, that is fine. And any difference in the transmission, the data means both optical, how much data you can push into the optical communication?
I'm sorry, I don't have figures with me right now, but definitely I have my notes. I can give you the detail in the email itself because it is very difficult to recall the exact figures.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So any other like direct interaction with ma'am? Anyone? So ma'am, there is one question in the chat box from Niranjan sir. So he's asking, you talked about IR LED. Okay, so how do you see fit in defense? How does it fit in defense, IR LED?
Yeah. Okay, let me see.
Infrared.
Infrared LEDs, how do you see defense? That is really a tricky question, and that's a good question actually, but a very tricky question. But I really don't know the answer right now because every application is different. How the IR LED fits in defense, that I need to check, and I can reply to it through email.
Okay, ma'am. Any other question from the participants? Before we end up today's session, any other person, like anyone who wanted to know about careers in their company or careers in industry? Anything?
Hello, yeah, hi ma'am.
Yeah,
Manjeet
hi.
side. Ma'am, do you have any opening in your company right now?
Yeah,
Please tell here because I think there are many people who would be looking for the jobs right now also.
yeah, prior to lockdown, yes, we do have opening, but after this lockdown, actually, everybody is doing cost cutting. So I really don't know. Maybe after 3 or 4 months, we must be having opening in the technical background. Basically, we need a technical people for explaining to the customer regarding that particular component to be used. So definitely, the posting will be there after 3 or 4 months.
Okay, okay. So maybe you can share the details with Anupma for that.
Yeah, sure. I'll do the
Many
same. No
people
problem.
can be benefited and you will also get the employee.
Yeah, it's a mutual benefit for both of us.
Okay,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much.
And thank you for your wonderful presentation. It was very lively.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Any
Yeah,
other
one
question?
question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I want to
Yes,
know.
ma'am.
I am from Bangalore. Here, student want to do internship. So, during their summer break, can they do internship under your company?
Yes,
BTech student,
you
EC
can
student.
directly write to me. You can directly write on my email ID whenever you want to do internship. We'd love to help people who are actually want this.
Please send in the chat box your email ID so we can write
I've
there.
already sent it. I again write it.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So I believe there are no more interactions.
There are some in chat.
Yeah, thermal detector for COVID-19 use IR LED. Could you comment on it, ma'am?
I can't comment because we are not selling any thermal detector and I have no idea.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So, I would like to introduce you all. So today we have amongst us, yeah. So today we also have amongst us a very eminent and distinguished professor. So I would like to introduce him to all of you. So we have with us Dr. Naresh Chand sir. So it's a privilege to have you in our series today. So could you please share your blessings or any views to the young generations who are attending the session today? Yes, sir.
Hello, could you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yes,
Could you
sir. Yes, sir.
welcome,
Hey,
sir?
this is thank you very much for asking me to share my thoughts. I didn't expect it, so I am not prepared. I just thought that let me see, let me see the video, turn the video on.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for joining us. It's a pleasure to have.
Yeah, well, it is really pleasure to see that. Actually, I used to live in Ghaziabad, so this is a a good coincidence that I heard the talk and it was a good tutorial. I'm glad that you
Yes,
people are organizing these kind of talks because our youth, really need this kind of stuff. I had offered to give a talk. I guess you would be organizing this coming Saturday.
yes, sir.
This
On 30th we're planning.
right.
Yes, sir.
So the photonics, that's what I have been telling everyone that this particular century, 21st century, belong to photons, like the last century belonged to electrons. The photons are playing a big role in our lives today, right? Like this talk, for example, this presentation is possible because of the photons. If there was no photon, we would not be able to have this talk because the data which you can transmit is huge now. The undersea cables now can take more than terabit per second data. When I came to this country, the number of circuits were limited, 64, 120, 1 minute used to cost $3-4 to make a phone call from US to India. So everything has changed and it's because of the photon. Whether it is lighting, whether it is power generation, whether it is communication, social life, everywhere, photonics is playing a big role. And unfortunately, India has not done well in this area. We are far behind the rest of the world. We are consumers, we are not the producer. And we had to change this equation, right? We had to somehow know, I do not know if you people know that, that Wuhan, where this virus originated, it is the photonics valley of China. It is just like Silicon Valley of United States. This is the photonics valley of China. So there are quite a few photonics companies there in optical communication, in the machinery. There are many companies there which manufacture the machinery for the photonics company. All the transceivers which are made, assembled for the communication, they are made in Wuhan. Quite a few companies. So that's how, because people travel to Wuhan, so they brought this virus. So photons are also responsible, I guess, for this virus. I spent quite some time in Wuhan. My company, Huawei Technologies, have a big presence there. So in India, we really need to think about how could we take advantage of it. The time has come. I mean, I heard the LEDs. The LEDs is part of our life right now, right? So in India, it's a huge business. I mean, we should be making the chips, LED chips, as opposed to selling the LEDs from other countries. We should be manufacturing the LEDs. So Mrs. Kaur, I guess she was in CDIL before. And in the 70s, I actually visited CDIL several times because I used to work for Government of India Industrial Licensing. I was in charge for semiconductor industry licensing in the Department of Electronics. And at the time, Gurpreet Singh, he was the founder and owner of CDIL. And they used to make, all kind of transistors and diodes. And that was the one company was fully vertically integrated. I wish that that there are companies like Continental Devices India Limited in India, which making the LED chips. Besides, we had the huge requirements for the solar cells, right? The panels, and there's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So there are many areas which are emerging, and they are needed in our everyday life. So I think the community and in Punjab, in north of India, I think they are very progressive, should think about it. So that's all I would say. I'm not prepared to say anything more at this time. You just give me a surprise invitation. Thank you very much. Okay,
Thank
good
you,
luck
sir.
to everyone.
So we look forward to your talk on 30th. Yeah, I
30th,
formally
right?
invite you for a talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you,
So
sir.
I'll be talking about opportunities and
Yeah.
challenges in industrial jobs.
Okay, sir, definitely. Thank you, sir. So
Okay.
thank you all for joining us today. Yes, sir. So before we end up today's session,
Thank you, sir.
I request everyone on their camera and have a group picture. Thank you, ma'am, for your informative talk. Yes. So I request everyone to turn on the camera. We can have a group picture before we end up today's session. Yes.